Imagine a world where wars are fought not on battlefields but in the silent, invisible realm of cyberspace. This is not a dystopian future, but our present reality. Welcome to the dawn of cyber warfare, a new era where battles aren't waged with soldiers and tanks but with lines of code and complex algorithms. It's a shift as significant as the transition from swords to firearms, forever changing the face of conflict. Cyber warfare is not a distant concept, it's a stark reality that we live with every day. It's the unseen battle that rages on in the shadows of our interconnected world, where nations flex their digital muscles in a bid for supremacy. The shift from traditional warfare to digital battles is not just a change in tactics, it's a complete transformation of the battlefield itself. The battlefield is no longer a physical location but an intangible space stretching across thousands of miles, yet as close as our computer screens. And just like traditional warfare, cyber warfare has the potential to cause extensive damage. But it's not cities or infrastructure that are the primary targets. Instead, it's our data, our privacy, and our freedom. The weapons of this new warfare are not bombs or bullets, but malware, ransomware, and sophisticated hacking tools. The global impact of cyber warfare is far-reaching and profound. It has the power to cripple economies, disrupt governments, and even influence elections. It's a form of warfare that knows no borders, respects no rules of engagement, and shows no mercy. As we transition into this new digital age, no country is immune to the threat of cyber warfare. From the most developed nations to the emerging economies, everyone is a potential target. The digital battlefield is level. There are no geographical advantages or natural defenses. In this digital age, no country is immune to cyber attacks, including India, which has seen its fair share of cyber warfare. The dawn of cyber warfare is upon us, and it's a battle that we all are a part of, whether we realize it or not. The year is 2012, and India experiences its first major cyber attack. Imagine a world where warfare has evolved beyond physical battlefields, where enemies are invisible to the naked eye and attacks are launched through lines of code. That was the world India found itself in when it fell victim to its first significant cyber attack. This assault was not against a physical outpost or a traditional military target. Instead, it was aimed at the nerve center of India's defense infrastructure, its military intelligence systems. This wasn't a brute force attack, it was sophisticated, stealthy, and surgical. The perpetrators infiltrated the system, evading detection and leaving chaos in their wake. The origin of the attack was traced back to a foreign entity. While it's often difficult to pinpoint the exact source of a cyber attack due to the intricate web of servers and IP addresses used to mask the attacker's true location, evidence suggested malicious intent from a state-sponsored hacker group. This cyber attack's impact reverberated through India's defense infrastructure. It exposed vulnerabilities in the system, leading to a compromise of sensitive information. This wasn't just an incident, it was a wake-up call. It highlighted the need for robust cybersecurity measures to guard against such stealthy and destructive attacks. The aftermath saw a scramble to reinforce the security systems and to investigate the extent of the damage. It was a harsh lesson learned, a realization that warfare had moved beyond the physical realm. The battlefield had expanded to the digital world, and the enemy was not always visible. This incident was not just a one-off event, it was a glimpse into the future of warfare, a future where battles are fought in cyberspace, where the enemy is unseen, and where the weapons are lines of code. It was a stark reminder that in the digital age, nations don't just need a strong military, they need a resilient cyber defense. This attack marked the beginning of a new era in warfare for India, an era of invisible enemies and intangible battles. As we move forward in time, the frequency and severity of cyber attacks on India have only increased. The year 2012 marked a turning point in India's cyber history. The infamous Nitro attacks targeted several Indian corporations, jeopardizing their trade secrets and causing significant economic disruption. Not only did this threaten the country's financial stability, but it also exposed the frailty of its cyber defense systems. Fast forward to 2016, and the scenario had only worsened. This time, the focus shifted from corporations to public infrastructure. The Power Grid Corporation of India fell victim to a sophisticated cyber attack, which led to a massive blackout in several states, affecting millions of people. It was a stark reminder of how cyber warfare had the potential to disrupt everyday life. By 2018, the situation had escalated further. The Cosmos Bank incident made headlines where hackers siphoned off nearly $94 million. This attack not only shook the country's banking sector, but also raised questions about the safety of individuals' funds. As we entered the new decade, the intensity of cyber attacks grew. The year 2020 saw the advent of the Big Basket data breach, which exposed personal data of over 20 million users. This incident highlighted the urgent need for robust data protection laws and measures in the country. And who can forget the 2023 Twitter hack? It was an orchestrated attack on the accounts of prominent Indian figures, including politicians and celebrities. The attack was a stark demonstration of how cyber threats could be used to manipulate public opinion and cause social unrest. These instances are not just isolated events, but a part of a larger, more alarming trend. They signify a shift from conventional warfare to a digital battlefield. India, like many other nations, has found itself in the crosshairs of this new form of warfare. These attacks have not only damaged India's infrastructure, but also exposed the vulnerabilities in its cyber defense systems. The question now is, how will India respond to these evolving threats? And what steps will it take to fortify its cyber defense? The consequences of these cyber attacks extend far beyond temporary system outages. Indeed, the ripple effects of cyber warfare are far-reaching and can lead to significant distress in various sectors of society. Let's delve into this a bit more. One of the most immediate and tangible impacts of a cyber attack is the potential for data breaches. Imagine this: highly sensitive information, from corporate secrets to personal identities, falling into the wrong hands. The fallout can be immense, affecting not only individuals but also businesses and governments. Then, there's the economic disruption. Cyber warfare can cripple critical infrastructure, disrupt supply chains, and wreak havoc on financial systems. It's a domino effect, really. One sector goes down and others follow suit, leading to a cascade of economic turmoil. The cost of recovery can run into billions, and the long-term economic effects can linger for years. But perhaps the most alarming aspect of cyber warfare is the threat to national security. Cyber attacks can target military systems, communication networks, and even, yes, nuclear facilities. The potential for such attacks to destabilize nations and trigger international conflicts is a stark reality in the digital age. And let's not forget the psychological impact on the public. The fear and uncertainty that such attacks can instill in people's minds can be overwhelming. It can lead to a loss of trust in institutions, exacerbate social divisions, and even influence political outcomes. The potential for cyber warfare to disrupt, destabilize, and destruct is undeniable. It's a new frontier in warfare, one that is invisible and omnipresent at the same time. It's a threat that doesn't discriminate. Anyone and everyone can be a target. In the face of these threats, the question that arises is, how is India responding? Faced with an increasing number of cyber threats, India has taken significant steps to bolster its cyber defenses. In the face of the rising tide of cyber warfare, India has adopted a multifaceted approach, focusing on strengthening its cybersecurity infrastructure, building robust legal frameworks, and fostering international cooperation. The Indian government has established dedicated cybersecurity agencies to counter and mitigate cyber threats. These include the National Cybersecurity Coordinator, responsible for strategic coordination of all cybersecurity activities, and the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT-IN, which serves as the nation's frontline defense against cyber attacks. In addition to these agencies, India has also developed comprehensive cyber warfare strategies. The National Cybersecurity Strategy, for instance, outlines the country's approach to safeguarding its cyberspace. It emphasizes the importance of securing government systems, protecting critical infrastructure, and enhancing the cybersecurity skills of its workforce. Furthermore, India is making strides in implementing robust cybersecurity laws. The Information Technology Act, amended in 2008, provides a legal framework to address cyber crimes. It has provisions for the punishment of various forms of cybercrime, including identity theft, cyber terrorism, and child pornography. But the battle doesn't end at the borders. Recognizing the global nature of cyber threats, India is actively engaging with international partners to foster cooperation in cybersecurity. It has signed multiple agreements with nations like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Singapore, to share best practices, conduct joint exercises, and collaborate on cybercrime investigations. At the same time, India is also investing in building a skilled workforce to tackle cyber threats. It has launched numerous initiatives to train professionals in cybersecurity, such as the Cyber Shiksha program, which aims to skill 20,000 women in cybersecurity within 3 years. In the face of evolving threats, India's approach is dynamic and multi-pronged. It's about building walls and fortifying them, yes, but also about nurturing the minds that will man these defenses. While the threat of cyber warfare continues to loom, India's proactive approach serves as a beacon of hope for a safer cyber future. As we look to the future, the landscape of warfare continues to evolve. Cyber warfare is no exception. It's advancing at a breakneck pace. New threats are emerging, from complex ransomware to AI-driven attacks, forcing us to continually innovate our defensive measures. The race is on to develop smarter, stronger systems capable of warding off these digital assailants. In this ever-evolving battlefield, one thing is certain: the fight for cybersecurity is a fight for the future of our world. Today we've journeyed through the rise of cyber warfare and its impact on India. We've seen the dawn of digital combat, the first major cyber strike against India, and the escalation of attacks over time. We've analyzed the effects on the nation and its people, and the various strategies India has employed to bolster its cybersecurity. In the face of growing cyber threats, India, like many other nations, is learning to navigate this new battleground, one byte at a time.